some of the community got that, which is a shame. Okay. Let's go. It's time for questions. Regarding your talk on startup coaching on team composition, is it possible to main DPS role to swap main DPS role from Soldier to Bastion? What would the consequences? What would be the consequences, and when would this be good? This will be good if they're playing a triple tank lineup without D.Va. Without D.Va is the key. If they're playing it with D.Va, I'd say you have problems, because then they just put the D.Va barrier up and walk into you and kill you. The problem with doing that is that Soldier 76 is just better. Like, the advantages you get from Bastion is you have the powerful turret form. You can just machine gun, machine gun, machine gun, machine gun, machine gun, machine gun, kill, 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 no problem. And that ability to do that is really, really good. It's just there are very set ways of dealing with it, where you just run D.Va, you have a Reinhardt, you walk forward, you get a pulse bomb on him, for example, you have a Tracer. You have ways of dealing with it, and so it just suddenly falls apart, and then suddenly you have to play a lot more in recon mode, and if you're playing in recon mode, why aren't you playing Soldier 76? And it's that sort of logic flow that is the problem with Bastion. You could do it in theory, and I'd say at low ranks it'll probably work very well. At higher ranks you're going to run into problems where someone will just swap Tracer, or they'll just swap into a D.Va and find ways around the barriers and then get the kills on you. If Gohan 6 was an ice cream, how often would he jump off the high ground? He would be the kind of ice cream, you know, the Mr. Whippies with the 99p flakes in, and you're at the beach and then a seagull comes in and just like knocks it off, and then it falls on the floor and goes splat, and then you cry salty tears, because those ice creams don't cost 99p anymore, even though they're called 99p's. They cost fucking like £5 or something freaking ridiculous. Instead, but what Gohan will be is, rather than just waiting for the Seagull, it'll be going, Seagull's probably going to knock it off anyway, and then you just drop it on the floor, and then you get angry regardless. When do you swap between hero roles? It's somewhat rare, and usually you have to negotiate to do it, so you say, you know, this isn't working, can I play DPS? And the support might go, sure. They might feel, for example, like the DPS might feel, yeah, I'm not up to standard, I will swap. In which case you can try and swap to something else. Like, you can try and get something else done. It is very rare, though, that you'll swap across roles. The exception is if you're going to go for something like a triple DPS dive and then try and make that work. So yeah, you can try and do that, but like, it's very rare that as a support, and it's kind of rude almost. A bit of a faux pas. Like, if you're playing support on one round, especially on like King of the Hill, and then you just randomly swap to a DPS, and suddenly everyone's going, what the fuck? Because now everyone has to rearrange and figure out what they're doing. And it's very hard to work out, okay, well, I have gold damage, therefore I should be staying on DPS. No, I have gold eliminations, therefore I should be on DPS. No, but I've been tanking, and I'm tanking really well, therefore I should stay on this position and not support. And blah, 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 blah. And you can't do that in 30 seconds with a bunch of randoms. So it's not going to work. So you've got to just swap it. You've got to just, like, you've just got to sort of, okay, I've locked into this role. What are my boundaries within this role? How can I play around it? The exception, again, will be stuff like off-tank. If you're playing off-tank, then you might have some leeway to swap into a DPS role. Or if you're playing, like, if you're playing DPS, you could swap into a Roadhog, for example. And just play a very DPS-style Roadhog. I rarely play DPS, almost never in comp, but I feel like I should be able to DPS when the team needs. That's absolutely correct. Basically, you wouldn't have been too remiss on picking... Like, you were fine on the Zarya. I think the problem was your team lacked the main tank. Like, they kind of picked it up with the Reinhardt coming in later. But you might have been okay just staying on Zarya. If you were really confident in your Zarya, you could have pulled that off, especially when they... Like, especially on Shrine, for example, when they start playing very heavily around... Like, they had a Junkrat and a Reaper. If you just abuse those two heroes, you can get high charge very easily and just snowball. So if you're very good at Zarya, you could have plugged that in there. I'd say the Soldier 76 is the better pick overall, and just knowing how to play one hero in every role is worth doing. At the very least, to near your level on your main. It is hitting the point of, like... You have this thing of, like, so back in Season 1, for example, let's draw a graph, because I like graphs. Season 1, you would have a graph like this. This is 0. You'd have a graph like this, and then there'll probably be like some major drop-off, and then it's like this. And then you have like a ton of heroes down here on no playtime. And this is like 5 hours, this is 4 hours, this is 3.5 hours, this is 2 hours, whatever. Not to scale. And that was your playtime in Season 1, and it's relatively even spread. Then Season 2 comes along, and let's just max out the playtime. Well, this is going to double, this is going to double, this is going to drop off. You didn't play this hero much, so it just goes up here a bit, this hero comes up a little bit, this hero comes up a little bit, maybe this hero comes up a little bit. And then you get to Season 3, and oh my lord, we've gone off the screen. Like, you end up with massive playtime stacked on one hero, therefore that hero is going to become, by and away, better. Just find ways of playing heroes that you can play, and then find ways to play them to a competent level, but maybe just be afraid of taking, you know, massive risks. So playing Soldier 76, for example, you'll be perfectly fine just trying to take control of the high ground, trying to control high ground, shoot down at the enemy team, get good ultimates off. That's all you should be concerned about. Avoid, you know, thinking, oh, I should be flanking tons and doing tons of active stuff. You don't have the knowledge to be able to do that, perhaps, so you might want to cut back on some of that style play, but you could absolutely play Soldier 76 in a very standard manner. Just disappointed because I stood in front of the closed door in Crefeld. Really? See, I did. If I knew you were outside, I would have come outside and said hello. The problem was my phone couldn't get Wi-Fi very easily. I could get Wi-Fi actually, but it was very spotty in there. And they changed the password for the Wi-Fi midway through the event, which is really freaking annoying. Are we still on YouTube? Yes, we technically are. So like that was frustrating. And yeah. And then on Thursday, it was just like a case of, oh god, I've got to get on my flight, and I've got to get all this stuff sorted, and I've got to get all this done, and it's just very stressful. Does Reaper and Lucio work well? Yes, they do, actually. I'd say that if you are running Reaper, you have to have a Lucio, because if you don't, you will never get in range. If they have a Lucio and you don't, especially, you will never be in effective range, and you will just lose. Do you think the McCree buff is enough? Is enough? Probably not. I think Soldiers are still good at everything. I think McCree might see more use and might become more relevant. Just because, so if you aren't aware, the change is this. Okay, let's draw a line. Okay, this is a line. This time. Okay, this line this is a literal time line. So what we have is when you press Q, you press at t equals 0. McCree starts his animation and goes, it's high noon. And then right now, I think it's at like 0.8 seconds. So let's say that this is 1 second, this is 2 seconds. So at 0.8 seconds, you start charging. After 1 second, you will do 20 damage. And then after that, you continue charging. And I have no idea what this number is here. It might be like 120, or like, it might be even more. Let's just say it's 120. Thank you, Silver Cody.
Thank you for the great streams.
Thank you for the great sub. It's appreciated. What they're changing now is that at 0.2 seconds, so T is 0.2. Now you start locking on even earlier, and this is going to be 80 damage. So after 1 second, you will deal 80 damage. So if you land a shot on Tracer, press Q and wait 1 second, and press left click, you can kill her. That's really, really, really quite useful. And it's just this nice and early smash, I guess. It's just a nice little bit of burst damage. It makes it much more reliable at getting out a small amount of damage on absolutely everyone. Whereas right now, you have enough time to react where you can get out the way and hide. Which is kind of a problem. So I'd say it makes McCree a bit better against dive, and that might swing him into a bit more. Are you doing any coaching the many? Yes, literally right now. What do you think of Team Clickbait's chances? Will you all ascend to glory? So I talked about this a bit at the start. Stylosa, the Git, literally just, like, he didn't even ask us. He just signed us all up for this fucking thing. So that tells you enough, I think. That we've just been signed up for this, and hey, okay, whatever. I'm fine doing it, but I have no illusions about our chances. We are going to get fucking rolled by the first half decent team we face. This is even more true because apparently, Ryan has no internet for this week. So I think he'll have internet by the 9th, so he won't be able to play. And B, well, he won't be able to play until about then. B, Miska apparently is going to be in Sweden from the 9th to the 11th, and so I don't think he'll be able to play either. So we've got to find a sub for Miska. We have no time to really practice. Valk is always busy during the day. Sai is busy during the day. I'm busy during the evening. Queen is like quite eager but busy during the day as well with her stream. So we have limited chance to actually get together and practice. I am under no illusions about Team Clickbait's chances. Team Clickbait is literally going to be clicked on and then going to lose. Is Overwatch worth playing on the PCR? Polymerase chain reaction, no. On the PS4, if you are wanting to go pro, or is it only really possible on the PC? I will give you no illusions, it is only really possible on the PC, and even on the PC it is quite difficult. Even if you have the necessary skills, it is going to be very difficult until Overwatch League gets started to make an active career out of Overwatch. I'm going to give you no illusions. The pro scene on the PS4 is non-existent. As far as I'm aware, I have never seen a high-rated or high-ranked PS4 tournament. I'm sure maybe they exist, but they are so very fucking rare. There is no point. If you want to become a professional Overwatch player, you have to get it on PC, get a high-end PC, make sure you can run 144 Hz per second, and make sure that you are playing 8-10 hours every day, because you are not only trying to match the pros, but you're playing catch-up, so you're probably going to have to play 12 hours a day to get to that level. That is a reality here. It's not impossible. It is not impossible. People have done it, people can do it, and there will be time to do it. If Overwatch League especially takes off and just keeps on going year after year after year, there's no reason why it wouldn't. Heroes of the Dorm, for example, still goes on. Heroes of the Storm still has regular events. Hearthstone still has regular events, even with dwindling viewers, which Overwatch does suffer from, and I'm going to make no illusions about that. Take TV's getting like 10k viewers, which is tiny because Seagull's getting the same, just smashing gold teams in Overwatch contenders. But there is no reason to think that Blizzard are going to just abandon this and let it go. So there is going to be a pro scene for Overwatch. If you want to be a part of that, you have to be on PC. And that could be considered very unfair, but it's just where the sponsorship money is, it's where the viewership is, it's where the highest end play is, it's where the pros are going to be. Why is Seagull knocking our ice cream to the ground? Because Seagull's a dick. He isn't, actually. I used to speak to him a bunch during the beta. Quite a nice lad. I am making the switch from controller to mouse and keyboard. Any tips on how to make the transition more fluid and things I should watch for while getting used to the new setup? So, first of all, like the question I always ask here, and I have no idea if you're going to be able to answer it or not, is do you play any other FPS on PC? If you are not used to playing FPS on PC, I will happily shill for Bethesda right now and say that the new Doom is very, very good. It's very dynamic in movement, and it's quite good for learning Twitch FPS. It's actually quite a challenging game as well, and a game I enjoy quite a lot. So go play that, for example, during your downtime when you can't play Overwatch or when Overwatch is too stressful. Find FPSs to play. Go buy a copy of the original, or like, Half-Life Source, and play Half-Life Source, and go play Half-Life 2 and play a bunch of FPSs. Get used to the mouse and keyboard through single-player games as well, and that way you have a place to practice, just moving the mouse, getting used to mouse movement, getting used to mouse and keyboard, moving fluidly, and shooting properly. Don't play it on easy, for the love of God. Play it on normal or whatever. Play it on hard if you really want to challenge, and then you can develop off the back of that. If you have played a lot of FPS on PC, then it's just a matter of getting as comfortable as possible with it. Play a lot of Quick Play, play a lot of Soldier 76, play a lot of McCree. Don't make excuses, and just be very honest with yourself, and just keep working on it. Or become a Hanzo main, and just don't aim. What flavor of ice cream would Seagull be? What's a super pop? Vanilla, because it's just ridiculously popular. But perhaps not the most interesting. Ooh, I didn't. Actually, Seagull runs a very good stream. Not gonna lie. He runs a very, very high quality stream. Is it better to try and play a hero that you're not as good at, but the team needs for a decent comp, or go with what you can actually play well and end up, for instance, with triple support? I'd say I'd go against triple support. But, let me slurp coffee. But, okay, the problem with that is you are sacrificing like a huge chunk and component of DPS. Like, even if you're playing Lucio, Zenyatta, which is like, can be quite high DPS, chances are your damage output compared to the enemy team will be so much lower that the enemy team will just win. Because in Overwatch there is a statistic I am relatively confident in, which is the team that does more damage, especially the team which does more hero damage, wins. It's relatively simple. If you can deal more damage to the enemy team than they can deal to you, you're probably going to win. So being able to do that reliably is very important. So I would advise against triple support. If you are like thinking, maybe I should play Soldier 76 here instead of playing... Like, let me take my friend Valkyr, for example. Valkyr is like in the top fucking 10 Pharahs in the world. He's extremely good at that one hero. And when doing our placements, like, it was a case he's swapping onto other heroes, and it's just like, well, why aren't we using, we got this amazing Pharah, we better be fucking using it. There's no reason why we shouldn't be playing around that. I was very happy when Valk was on fire. I was trying to do fire things, and I even noticed during the placements that his playstyle was a bit different to how he normally plays, which was quite alarming. Like, I think it was a bit out of sorts, so just getting used to the team environment and getting used to dealing with an enemy team. He seemed to be a bit out of sorts. But yeah, it was quite tricky. But I see it quite often, Valk will be better served by just playing the fire, and historically speaking, and people are going to hate me for saying this, perhaps, but historically speaking, if you are very, very good at one thing, you are generally going to end up with a higher rank of being a jack of all trades. That's not to say that you shouldn't be open to swapping, and if it clearly is not working, and you should be able to read the signs if you play this one hero a shitload, if it clearly is not working, swap off it. This is more true for heroes that do have relatively strong counters, like Widowmaker, for example, Torbjorn, Winston even. Like, if they are really, really nailing you and really making life difficult, then sure, there's a problem there. I love this fucking dancing. I love this fucking dancing so much. So distracting. Let's get a rear view. Oh, baby. Any tips for switching up a comp between rounds just to throw the enemy off a game by not doing what they expect? But not just changing the comp for the sake of it. That sounds to me like you're just changing the comp for the sake of it. If you won a round, there is no reason for you to change what you were doing. In competitive, my advice is this. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, keep it... Don't overcomplicate things. Don't go, guys, what if we bring out Bastion and Mei just to fuck with the enemy team? No. No. Just play what you are playing and keep on winning. There's no reason to stop doing that. If you stop doing that, you're being silly. If you lost, then you can say, you know, again, try and keep it upbeat, try and keep it sane, and just try and say, hey guys... Well, okay, don't say it like that because that sounded really fucking patronizing. Just say, okay guys, you know, what do we need to change up? Maybe something needs to change. What didn't seem to work there? And try and make some sort of dialogue happen. Try and give people an out as well of, okay, that didn't seem to work against their comp, or that didn't seem to be working. Don't go, oh, well, the DPS was fucking shit, maybe they should change. Like, no one wants to hear that. That gets people defensive, that gets people in a bad mood. Don't do that, but give people an out, give people a chance to respond to stuff, and maybe say their side of things, and maybe then you can have easy swaps. What do you do when your team just refuses to have a main tank and my Reinhardt is crap? You tell your team, my Reinhardt is really shit, guys. Can someone else please do it? And if they go, no, then you go, okay. And then you can either... honestly, I do not know what the optimal is there. I think maybe having a... It honestly depends on, like, the gulf between how shit your Reinhardt is and how shit the rest of your team is, and how good your main hero is. If the gulf is like, oh, I am amazing, like, I am GM on Soldier 76, but I am a bronze Reinhardt, then of course you should play Soldier 76. If it's the case of where you are diamond on Reinhardt, but you are gold, or you are diamond on Soldier 76, but you are gold on Reinhardt, playing Reinhardt's probably okay. Like, you just have to stand in front of your team, put your barrier up, and just play like a competent, straightforward Reinhardt. If you want to go and understand how to do that, there are plenty of episodes of Coaching the Many on Reinhardt that can tell you the basics and how that hero works and fundamentally operates. So you can work off the back of that. It's more of a personal decision. Just say, guys, I can't play Reinhardt. Can someone else? But honestly, for everybody, learning Reinhardt is not a bad fucking idea. Make sure you understand the basics of how to play Reinhardt. Understand that you should have your barrier up in front of most of your team in most occasions, but not all the fucking time, and make sure that you are lowering it to let it regenerate. Very, very rarely should your barrier be smashed and should break, because that's very bad. Understand how to read when a Reinhardt is looking for an Earth Shatter, and how to react to that appropriately by keeping your barrier in position or trying to bait it. Take a couple of swings with the hammer every now and then just to keep the enemy team scared, but don't do it when there's a Roadhog hook, for example. There's lots and lots of very simple, basic things that honestly aren't really that hard to learn. If you go into it with the knowledge of like, oh, this, you know, if the team then turns around and goes, oh, well, your Reinhardt really is shit, you go, yeah, I said so. Does someone else want to do it? And then you go, okay, and then we lose because no one on our team can play Reinhardt. That's not just the team's fault. That's also your fault for being unable to play that hero. I do hate it when support serves swap to Hanzo Widow. I mean, I know it's Mr. Heroes, but still have some respect for the team. See what you've done there. Are there any specific stats other than eliminations that you should look at if you're looking to improve Soldier 76? very difficult to use the in-game statistics to do so. In general, you want to be relatively high silver or gold on damage. In general, you want to be very high on eliminations. Might not be gold, but probably will be gold or silver. Keep an eye on your accuracy, but understand that, you know, think mentally of like, okay, my average accuracy in this game is 30%. My average accuracy in this game is 50%, but they had Winston, Reinhardt, and Orisa, and I just shot barriers all game, therefore, okay, whatever, that isn't helpful. So try and compare light games with light, where if it's a barrier-heavy game, okay, what's my accuracy when barriers are all over the place? Okay, this is an accuracy point. If they're playing dive and are all over the place, what's my accuracy then? What's that like? And so just try and contrast light with light. Don't compare apples and oranges. What flavor of ice cream is Soldier 76's dance, and why is it disgusting? Rum raisin. Disgusting because you're too young and you don't like alcohol. You don't like rum. Do you think the PTR buff, the Nano Deadeye, will be the new Nanovisor? No. Because Nanovisor is mobile and kills everything anyway, and will still kill everything. So that's really good. That's really good. We're going to turn Soldier again. There we go. The dancing Soldier is getting annoying. You wash out your filthy mouth. What would you take away from Soldier to make him not be the answer to everything? You just lower his damage a little bit more, I think. Or maybe lower his healing rate. Or increase the cooldown on the heal, maybe. There's a lot of tweaks you can do to him. The problem with Soldier is that he's always going to exist on like a seesaw with McCree. So as Soldier goes out, McCree will come in, then McCree... And like they occupy kind of the same slot, so one will be in, one will be out. You might be in a period where, like, if they take another DPS point off him, then we might start entering McCree Soldier being relatively paired off. But in which case, you won't see people opting to pick McCree instead. They'll be playing Genji Tracer, which is kind of what's happening already. Was it a good one? I don't know. Yes. Yes, of course it was a fucking good one. I almost got all starry-eyed. That happens to me. One or two more questions. Do you need more Bastion footage? I saw that you sent me some. We might go over that next week. Undercults. I am familiar with FPSs on PC, so no worries on that. Yeah. Used to do Halo on the PC with a trackpad. Bloody hell. No. No. Why would you do this? Why? Why would you do this? Any other questions? Here we go. Best heroes to learn for general game sense, which you don't want to main. Reinhardt, Soldier, and Lucio, probably. The pixelated hat is neat. Super neat. It's the neatest. Yeah, I'd say Reinhardt, Lucio, Soldier. Like, they're just good picks. There'll very rarely be a time when you cannot play one of those three heroes. Or someone will not swap you for one of those three heroes. Lucio is very good at learning when to support ult, how to play support, how to support properly, how to position with your team, how to govern an ebb and flow of a fight, because you're using speed boost to push in and reposition, and heal to stay in the fight, so you understand, okay, this is a fight, this isn't a fight, this is a reposition. You get to learn all that kind of stuff. Reinhardt, you get to learn how the enemy Reinhardt plays, how enemy Reinhardt's position and react and do stuff, you know, how to spot and read what enemy Reinhardts are doing, what it feels like when a Reinhardt is pressured and how it gets pressured. You get to learn all that stuff. And then with Soldier 76, you just learn basic DPS that will fit into pretty much every lineup. So yeah, you get to do all that. And you get to learn some tracking as well, which is useful on pretty much everything. And also a rocket, which is worth learning. If you have bad aim, playing a hero that doesn't require much aim is a good idea while you work on your aim. Isn't there a slight oxymoron there? Play the hero that you're bad at. You're going to lose, you're going to get frustrated, but you want to learn a new hero, you've got to step into the fire. Is it okay to main Mercy if you have bad aim? Okay, let me do the Mercy main discussion. I've done it before and I'll do it again. It is fine to main Mercy until a certain point. And I'd say that point is about Diamond. Because once you hit Diamond, Mercy's effectiveness starts dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And as you get better and better and better, you will find teams just better at dealing with Mercies, better at reacting to Mercies, better at handling the res, it's harder to do stuff. In which case you might need flexibility in your support pool. And if you can only play Mercy, you are a burden on the team. And this is where people get angry at Mercy mains, because they end up playing in Grandmaster, but they don't have any FPS skills outside of being able to hold left mouse button and hide around corners. And that isn't useful for the team. And so when you end up in a situation where it's in the point where I've seen people regularly complain, I have 2 Mercy mains on my team, we lose because they can't play at that level. If you are maining Mercy and you start climbing, that is the point to diversify. Do not become a burden, because that is what you are doing. You are becoming a burden, because there are so many of these fucking people now that it is literally becoming a problem of, I cannot play anything but Mercy. Don't be that person. When do you switch from Ana to Mercy, Mercy to Ana? I prefer Ana in tank heavy comps, Mercy in mobile comps. I actually can't, well, okay. In a mobile comp, I mean, I'm an Ana main, so I will gravitate towards Ana regardless. So say a comp with Pharah, Mercy, sure, go nuts. She's pretty good with that. In a super divey comp, I honestly prefer Ana. When they are playing dive, I prefer Ana vastly over Mercy, because they are going to dive the Mercy every fucking time, and she has no good tools of dealing with that aside from dash. Well, if you're playing Ana, you can make them bleed every single time they do it, and you can actually handle the dive. So if they're playing tanky, then you might want to play Mercy more, because it's less likely that, hey, the Roadhog's going to run all the way into the back line and find you and kill you, while the Genji with Dragon Blade probably is going to do just that if he's got any modicum of sense. So yeah, like, that's when I would say you're more thinking about what's on the enemy team. Also, like, again, if you have a Pharah, then the choice is obvious. Mercy's way better. Ana plus Pharah is just a bad combo. Unsurprisingly, the Amari family does not get along with itself, judging by Pharah's mummy issues. And yeah, it's one of those things of like, hey, adapt then. Let's just do these 2, and then we'll finish up. My hero pool: Zarya, D.Va, Winston, Mercy, Zen. You've seen my Solid 6 in my Tracer. Should I focus on these or anything else? Zarya is very worth focusing. Zarya is just very powerful. Like, until Masters, Zarya is still really fucking good. So you'll be able to deal with it. 76, worth focusing on. Tracer, I would leave Tracer for now, maybe, and just focus on Zarya, 76, and probably either Mercy or Zen. I'll leave that in your hands. You'll probably have an easier time playing Mercy. But yeah, go with that. When is it worth it to nano boost a hog? If I get nano boosted a hog, do I go whole hog? You generally should just whole hog. You skip mine. Did I skip yours? Yes, I did. Is there a way for me to know whether or not you might still get around to the footage you sent a while ago? How long was a while ago? It's usually like 2 weeks, or like last patch is the cutoff. I want to make sure I'm not going to show my emails. Be a bit careful. Let me see. Is your name the same as your real name? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. When did you last send footage? There you did. Oh, hey, it is the same as your real name. April 15th. You are well in the clear, son, of sending in some new footage. Well in the clear. And hey, this actually might have been a really good game for this one. But yeah, that's a while ago now. You are very much in the clear to send more footage. Like, if you leave it about 2 weeks, that's generally enough. I do have one person who sends me, like, I think a new video every other day, which is like, okay, slow your roll there, mate. Slow it down. Yeah, because that's a little bit much. Like, don't send me every single one of your games, guys. I can't do that. But if you send one like every 2 weeks or every week, that's fair enough. And on the nano boosting hogs, the nano boosting hogs, in general, yes, you want to whole hog. If no one's fucking near you, then don't whole hog. But Ana is generally giving you a nano boost for one of 2 reasons. A, she's giving it to you so you survive. So you could just stand on a point, off your paint can, get healed up to full, then you can even whole hog and just stall it out even further. Or she's giving it to you to kill the shit out of everyone. She sees that, hey, this Roadhog could probably press Q and get 1 or 2 kills. Press Q, get 1 or 2 kills, absolutely decimate their tanks, whatever. It's a very high DPS combination. It's worth using. It's just a matter of, like, is this a situation where whole hog is probably going to get some kills? If yes, press Q. Just do it when there's a barrier around as well, ideally, so you don't get slept instantly, because understand that you cannot dodge when you whole hog, so if there is an Ana on the enemy team, be a little bit cautious of that. Maybe fire off a right click first, then press Q, who knows. But just use your good sense. In general, yes, she is expecting you to whole hog. I'll say that much as an Ana. Okay, that will do it for today. Boom, let's type in exclamation mark coaching. So to get your footage reviewed on Coaching the Many, do send your footage into oamreviews@gmail.com. Include the hero name and the rank in the description. Notice I haven't been saying for the last couple of episodes, but do include as well that you're a sub. Gohan, for example, has been a long time sub, so hey, it's been good to finally get him on. I might have had him on before. I don't think I have, though. Maybe in one of the team scrim ones. Not sure. It's been a while. Anyway, it's been a long time coming. So do mention if you're a sub, just put in the front of it, subscriber, or put in the title somewhere, just Twitch subscriber. Subscribers have a little bit of extra priority, just my way of just giving back to them. Just, you know, because hey, they support and fund the stream and support and fund my life, so that's always appreciated. Other than that, thank you for watching to the end. It's been a good time. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Do come by and watch us live as well, 10 PM British time. That's BST. Literally, I can't say that right now, actually. 11 o'clock Central European and 2 PM in California. So I'm sure you can figure out from there. Twitch.tv /ESL_OneAmongstMany. Thank you guys for watching to the end. It's been a blast. Doodles. YouTube's gone. Boom. Boom. They're gone. They're done. That is one hell of a dance.